Hi guys, Samantha here. Welcome back to my channel and another speed build. Guys, when I tell you guys I have been speed building like crazy, how many times am I going to say guys? I don't know, but I've been not speed building. I have been building like crazy. I have been finding inspiration like everywhere. So it's just, I've just been particularly losing my mind. But this particular build, which for some reason messes up the recording, I don't know why, but it skipped forward to this point. But anyway, this particular build is basically going to be my sim self's penthouse apartment. So right now my sim self is currently living in an apartment that's not working for her situation. I don't even know how else to say it but that. So I wanted to take over the spot that her sim self's boyfriend, that my sim self's boyfriend lived in. But the particular house that he had, I grabbed it from the gallery, and while it's a beautiful penthouse, it doesn't really fit the needs that I have right now for my sim. So I decided just to go on and make something. Now I will say, even though I absolutely love how it came out, it doesn't look like what a typical penthouse I feel like should look like if you're doing something in San Myshuno on top of a roof. So with that being said, that actually is not a bad thing, because you could always plop this actual lot in another area as opposed to in San Myshuno, and it'll look just like a house. But that's one good thing about the penthouse, is that you can just have houses plopped on top of penthouses. But I was really trying to go for the same aesthetic that the rest of the penthouses look like. And even though, like I said, I love it, I feel like I didn't get that aspect as much as I would have liked to get it. But anyway, so the way I came up with this floor plan, I'm a big floor plan shopper. I actually go online and look for floor plans, but it was really hard for me to find like a usable floor plan for a penthouse. A lot of them just had like a lot of extra space. They were just like very boxy. They might have had like a loft as opposed to like a bunch of bedrooms. So I ended up making my own floor plan, and I came across this website where it's like like interactive, and you could actually drag and drop your rooms down. You can make them bigger, larger. You could actually put furniture in the rooms and try to like map out how you want everything to look. And that's pretty much how I came up with this floor plan. I sat down in front of the TV and just created, and I really enjoyed doing it that way, because I was able to kind of like play around and see like how I wanted it to look before I actually came into the Sims. Because sometimes I'll go building and I'll just spin my camera for like minutes, if not like for a long time, let's put it that way. I wouldn't say hours, but sometimes I just spin the camera just like looking at the lot, trying to figure out how I want to approach it. And being that this particular lot is just one big old square just sitting on top of a building, you know, it's kind of like, what do I do with this space? So anyway, you know, I basically did it like that. And even though along the way I probably deviated a little bit from the floor plan, for the most part this was how the floor plan was. So I love how it came out. I think that it's a really pretty lot. But anyway, so I wanted to focus, if you see that little green space over there on the edge, I wanted to focus on having some outdoor space, because right now my sim self does have a child, and I'm going to be aging that baby up to a toddler soon, and I want to be able to have a place where the baby can kind of run out and play around. And then she also has a dog, and I didn't want to have to be going all the way downstairs in order to take the dog out and go use the bathroom and all that type of stuff. So I ended up putting like a little green space. Now, will the dog actually use it? I'm not sure. I'm hoping so. I'm hoping that she'll go out there and just use the space. But you never know how dogs are. They might consider that inside the house. But it is like a green tile, not a tile, but like a flooring that we use there. So for all I know, the dog might think that it's considered in the house, or it's like floor, but we'll see. Either way, I put trees and stuff out there, which I feel like that should mean that it's outdoor space, but I don't know. But I definitely want to focus on that, because I wanted to make this as family friendly as possible and as usable for a family as possible. So anyway, I kind of stuck with this basic L shape because I wanted to have space for an elevator, like a waiting room for the elevator, because some of the houses that I saw in the gallery, it's like you have an elevator and they were immediately inside your house, and I was kind of like, that's not gonna work for me, because I didn't want Sims just like popping up and not having like a place to sit and let me welcome them in. So I wanted to do like a little elevator room, And then of course on top of the elevator room, I wanted to make like another balcony for my master bedroom. I love having balconies and stuff like that for the master bedroom that kind of like looks down on the city, or in this case the pool and all that good stuff. And I also want to focus on another outdoor area that was kind of covered. So I ended up having 3 different outdoor areas that were covered with this little, I guess, gazebo type thing that I did with fencing. And you basically just take the fence and just make like a design, which you kind of see I'm doing right now. And then you go in and you delete the wall, the ceiling from in between each one. I don't know another way of doing it. So I've always done it that way, but I've seen people say that you could do it differently, but that's the only way I know how to do it, is that you make the basic shape, you delete the wall, I mean the roof, and then you go back in, you know, and fill in the places or whatever. But I was trying to do like a design, like a little diamond shape one. So I was trying to figure it out. It's almost like you got to be like calculating, like, okay, this way, this way, this way, you know, and kind of like do your math and make it odd, even, or what have you. So anyway, that's pretty much what I was doing right there. So, but I really want to have like these little gazebo covering type things up so we could have seating areas where everybody would be protected from the sun and stuff like that. So I don't know if they'll actually provide shade, especially now that we have seasons. It might be a situation where they'll go out and they'll still be like, it's hot, you know, and they want to change it to their clothes, but that's fine, because I wasn't really worried about it. I just was more concerned about the look of it and how everything looked. And of course, I finished it with glass around the edges because I wanted to be able to see the city and look down on the city. But it's so funny because every time I look at these penthouses and you look at how there's just like glass separating you from your death, essentially, like you could, it's like someone could fall over and just be splat on the ground. But I mean, this is a Sims aren't jumping over Sims aren't jumping over the fences and whatnot. So I don't know, it just was funny because every time I look at it, I'm like, that's nothing. But anyway, you got to be responsible if you own this penthouse. But here I am just making like an outdoor kitchen area, and I really wanted to finish out that little edge, but I was concerned about putting move objects on. Because, you know, guys, I do build a lot with move objects, but sometimes I just prefer not to, because I notice I'll either forget that I have move objects on and I'll like start placing stuff, and then Sims will be like, I can't get here, or I can't do that. So, you know, if I want it to be functional, a lot of times I won't put move objects on. So, and then somehow naturally I ended up going for this whole monochromatic look on the outside. I don't even think that that's what I wanted to do, but somehow it just worked out like that. So I ended up doing like a whole bunch of black and white and grays on the outside. But on the inside, once I decorate it, I'm going to try to go for more color. That is the only hard thing about me building and doing, decor type things, like situations, is that sometimes I do kind of get comfortable. And even though I like how it came out, because sometimes black and white, or not sometimes, pretty much to me all the time, black and white is very classy looking and it's very elegant looking. So I wanted it to look kind of posh and kind of ritzy and kind of upscale, and you know, I think it fit the bill. But you know, I would like to experiment with color a little bit more, maybe find like some more colors that give the same poshy ritzy feel, as opposed to always doing like black and white type things. And then brown is another favorite of mine. I always kind of like do like brown stuff. So I just need to figure out a way to get out of that funk and like do something different. I think the closest I've ever came to doing something different when it comes to colors is when I did that single color, I think it was called the single color challenge, or the color build challenge, and you had to like spin a wheel and get like a random color, and then the whole house had to be inspired by that color. And I think I got pink, which to me was easy. It was like a gimme because pink is like, you know, pink, and I did like a whole house with pink. But that was pretty much the closest I came to like doing some different color type things. So I'm using these little grass thingies, and I size them up and I'm raising them up to put them inside the easel, so that way it got like a little covering. It just looks like overgrown grass up there. But honestly, y'all, when you're playing this lot and the light is shining through it, it actually gives like a really nice gazebo-y type effect. Like you can see like the light coming through the lines and kind of like throwing the shadows on the ground of like of the little diamond shapes or whatever, and the little trees, and it's really pretty. So I always do that when I make like the little gazebo coverings. I'll put like something up there. There's a handful of grass coverings that you can use. There's a florally one, of course there's like the grass one, but any of those little flat grass pieces, you can just raise them up and stick them up there. I size them up because I'm lazy, And yeah, that's about it. So, but if you size them up, you cover much more area as opposed to just doing like one tile at a time. You'll be out there forever doing one tile at a time. So I size them up maybe like twice to they're like a big chunk of square, and it fits like half of the little block, and then I only need 2 as opposed to like 8, you know. So something to think about if you ever do anything like that. So it's so funny. I was looking at these little umbrella things and I was like, I didn't know we had stripes. So I think that's what ended up throwing me in a little tizzy, where I was just like, I really want to do black and white because I was in love with those stripes. So like I said, I do have a baby that's going to be a toddler, so I wanted to put like some little outdoor stuff. So I ended up opting to put that little cover. I think we got that with toddler stuff, which I never use it, y'all, never. So I was like, it'll be a perfect time to use it right now, so that way when the baby's outside playing, I'll put like a toy chest out there, and then the slide, he could, you know, be covered by the sun and be protected or whatever. So I ended up putting like a lot of furniture in here just to kind of like gauge how big the rooms were and make sure that all the rooms were the right size. But I think going forward, what I'm probably going to do is take my Sim stuff and actually move it into the house as opposed to like doing like brand new stuff. And that's only because I'm trying to make it realistic. And while when I was building, I knew I wanted to keep it at about 250,000 at the most, because I wanted to make it a little bit more realistic. Her boyfriend's place where he lived was, I think, closer to 400,000, but you know, we're gonna get bills, and I wanted to make it where we could both afford it because we are living together right now. And then maybe we could just add on to it later or move if it ends up getting too small for us. So I was trying to make it realistic. So I felt like if I add anything else into it, especially because my 250 was like my max, I knew it was going to be an issue with furniture. So I was like, I'll just bring my furniture in and just do it like that. Now I will say I did a bunch of CC shopping and grabbed like a ton of beds. You guys probably saw that video. It aired earlier today. And so I probably will get a new bedroom set, only because I feel like when you're making a big move, like moving in with somebody, you celebrate by getting a new shared space together. And so it's like right now he's utilizing my space that was personally for me and he doesn't have anything for himself. So I just like the idea of us like coming together and making a space together that we both enjoy. That's like our shared space. So in here is like a little master bathroom, I guess you could say, and it's super small. I wanted to put like one of those little soaker tubs in there, but I was just like, it's just not going to work out. So I ended up just making it just like a generic bathroom. It has like a shower and I think 2 sinks if I remember correctly. And I was trying to get inspiration from some of these pre-built rooms. And when in doubt, y'all, they do come in handy because they pop up like that, and a lot of times the pieces are very cohesive or they're well thought out, and you could just like pick and choose what you want from it as opposed to popping down the whole room and just kind of like doing it how you want to do it. So I ended up wanting to do like his and her sinks, and I ended up doing that because like I said, this is like a shared space. And then I wanted to make like a cabinet that will have like you know, like the, I guess, supplies and stuff like that in it. So it'll have like, you know, towels or extra soap and stuff like that, like a little cabinet, because we really don't have like an outdoor, not an outdoor, but in the hallway type doorway. I wish that things like that in Sims were more realistic. I try to incorporate stuff like that when I'm building, that making like, you know, areas like a linen closet or something like that. So I tried to do that there. And then I came across this pineapple and I was like, oh my gosh, it goes so good with the gold in there. So I ended up putting that smack in the middle. It went really good in there. And so I ended up putting a hamper as well, because I do have a washer and dryer downstairs. I think we skipped that part because my recording messed up. I'm not sure what happened with that. It's weird. Like every once in a while, I'll just come across these little weird glitches when I'm recording, and it sucks because you don't know it until it's too late. And it was really when I was going to get the video to do the voiceover where I was like, wait, where's the rest of the video? Oh, what happened? Anyway, so but for the most part, you know, we got the main important part, because I think in that, the little pieces that you guys missed, I probably was just like mapping out the rooms and trying to do all the walls and stuff. That could get a little bit monotonous just watching people do that. This is the part that you know, is probably like the best, like watching them furnish. But this ended up coming out to be a 3-bedroom, y'all, and the bedrooms to me are decent size. You don't need him to be really super duper huge, because you know your Sim just sleeps in it. It's not like it's realistic, like we actually do stuff in there. So it was 3 bedrooms and a office, because both my Sim self and my boyfriend my sim cell's boyfriend has, I feel like I have to specify it's my sim cell's boyfriend, not mine. It's not my boyfriend. Anyway, they both work in social media, and with the new pack coming out, the Get Famous one, I'm like, I can't wait to incorporate that in this LP because I feel like I'm gonna have like a ton of extra stuff, and then maybe we'll move to the new city once we get it. I'm not sure. And that's another thing I was thinking about too when I was building this, even though I built this before the pack came out, but afterwards when I was thinking about it, I was like, yeah, we might just move to the new city and then I could just do something totally different, especially when we get terrain tools. But you know, I wanted to make sure we had a space where we could work on our social media stuff because it is a major part of, you know, how we're making money and stuff. So office was a must. I thought about putting just like a computer in the bedroom, but realistically what I probably will do is do like 2 computers in there because the room is big enough. It's just got 1 computer in there now when I mapped it out. But once we move in together, I probably will buy him a computer or buy myself one and give him that, you know, just whatever, just so we can have 2, because any given moment he could be on the computer and then that way I can hop on mine too and do what I need to do. So the outside though is stunning at nighttime. Oh, I love how that outside look. And I use that crystal clear water for the pool water, the pool coloring, and I think it came out really pretty. It just looks so inviting and refreshing. So here I am just still trying to decorate the outdoor space. I was going to put these rose bushes on the edge, but then I was like, nah. So I think what I am going to do though is, I don't know, my sim self really hasn't did like a lot of domesticated type things, and I know this is an alternate universe. In real life I would domesticate the heck out of my house, and if I could I would have like my own garden, but which, you know what, I'm saying that we could still do gardening and stuff in Alaska. It's just the timing. You have to be very precise with the timing. Like if by March you haven't started planting stuff, then you've already missed out on the season. And half the time I don't think about it until April, you know, and I'm like, oh, because when the season starts getting warm, that's when you start thinking about, oh, I can go plant some cucumbers in the backyard. No, not me. I I don't think about it early enough. But anyway, but we can't. As a matter of fact, it's crazy. We went to a state fair here, and I know this is separate from what's going on with this video, but they had like at the state fair, they actually do like contests, and they'll have like biggest crops and stuff like that. I cannot remember the size of that pumpkin, but the pumpkin was like bigger than a newborn baby size pounds. It was ridiculous. It was probably like a toddler size pounds. And somebody grew it here in Alaska, and I was like, I didn't even know that was possible. But because we get the sun for so long in the summertime, plants do crazy here. They grow crazy. They're getting like sun like for a long period of time, so they go crazy. And so you know, people take advantage of growing plants and stuff for that reason. So anyway, but I always play with the idea of doing like my own garden and having like tomatoes and, you know, especially basil and sage and stuff like that, because I like fresh herbs and stuff. I always play with that idea, but I never actually act on it, which kind of sucks. But anyway, so just finished the outside, and again, I love how it came out. So here I am just trying to do the inside. I realized that the kitchen wasn't big enough because I wanted it to square off with the entrance. So here I'm just kind of like making it a little bit bigger. I think I ended up going back to the original island because I realized I wanted my sink like smack in the middle. And I definitely wanted like a ton of windows, y'all, because one good thing about being on top of the city is you really got privacy to a degree. Kind of, sort of. You kind of got privacy to a degree, but you can at least partake in this beautiful sun, the beautiful skylight, the scenery from the lights downtown and stuff like that. So I really want to take advantage of that. So I saw this tile that has like these little floral decor on it, and then that actual tile, it matches the tile on the inside of it, and I really wanted to do it. I don't know, I always play around with, because in real life, y'all, you could go in some of these luxury houses and they have like designs on the tile and they're done like in fun different ways, but it just looked way too busy. So I ended up just getting rid of it altogether. Y'all, it was way too busy. I was like, Samantha, what are you doing? So I ended up changing it out. But if you guys are interested in trying to figure out how to make that work, it does. It actually, there's two tiles, that decorative tile and the little regular black pebbly tile. It matches like perfectly. So something to think about if you want to kind of like play around with that. I've seen some builds before where they use Control F, which is the key that you use to make your tiles triangular, and they'll make like these little diamond patterns, or you know, little sunburst or starburst type patterns. And I'm like always wanting to do something like that, but I guess when it comes down to execution, it just never works out for me. It never works out. Anyways, I was having like the hardest time with paint and stuff. I think when it comes to paint, I always try to play it safe. But probably what will happen is when I get in the actual house and I place my Sim Self's existing furniture, I probably will change it out, because off top I was literally in my brain like, what color is her furniture? I think I did browns, but maybe later on I'll play around and get some more furniture as we you know, grow together in this house or whatever. Maybe I'll get some different furniture, but right now I'm just going to use what she has. Like I said, we're just gonna pack up everything and just use what she has. I'm not gonna overthink it. So anyway, here's like the little entryway. I was trying to do something different in there because that's the first point of interest as soon as everybody comes in. And I think I'm getting to the end of the build. And like I said, it's blank right now, putting carpet down and everything, but eventually it'll have furniture and all that type of stuff. But at the end, I think it came out really pretty. Does it look like a penthouse? Or does it look like a house on top of a building? It's up to you guys. You can let me know in the comment box. And I will place this on the gallery. You might want to put move objects on just in case, because I have no clue, because I've downloaded stuff before and I forgot to put move objects on, y'all, and stuff will be like floating and just be like all over the place. So I thought about putting a hot tub out here, but I changed my mind because it was just too cramped and I didn't want to make it bigger than it needed to be. Anyway, so I ended up just opting to do just like a regular sitting area, but look at it, it's so pretty. Anyway, let me know what you think down in the comment box down below. Stay tuned for some screenshots, and also probably I'll be moving in this house on my next Sim Self episode, so be looking forward to that. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.